the latch. Oh, there's my friggin' side cutters. I've been looking for you for a while. Wants to pop right back out. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if while playing this game, bulbs just decide to like pop out. Like this one is one of the suspects. You gotta push too hard to get it to lock, and it's not even really, see what I mean? Did you see that? I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. All right, you ready for another episode of Quicksilver? What are we at? This is gonna be episode 16. Holy poop. Okay, let's read some comments. Oh, I'm gonna start with the last Graisley Garage video that I just posted. There's only 7 comments, so we can get through those pretty quickly. And let's see what y'all are saying today. So Wayne says, the 194 bulb, which is used in the whitewater topper, which is like the only place I think Williams used those bulbs. It's kind of a weird decision. Was a standard automotive bulb used for side markers and dash lights in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. They shouldn't be hard to find. No, the pinball suppliers have them. They are readily available. I did check in my stash. I didn't have any, but turned out that Kevin's issue with the whitewater topper lights wasn't the bulbs themselves, which is the first thing you suspect. It was a rogue connector, but that is all resolved now. All right, Damon Huffman says, Kevin's gift is a placemat from Pinball Photos. Yes, we did gather that after the fact from the videos you provided, and thanks again for the fun box, the surprise goodies. It was perfect timing too. I just happened to be over there. Dutch gets the call from his mother. We have a mystery box at the house. We have no idea where it came from, and well, that was you, so that was fun. I'm planning on taking mine and framing it for the game room wall. Yeah, that would be a good idea for that thing. It's a really cool photo, and it's like double-sided too, so you got options. Damon also says, I'm thrilled that the box was a mystery. I might have to send another one day. Hey, we're not opposed to gifts of fun and, you know, goodies. I won't say which episode I found Kevin's address. Yes, thank you. Great year-end shenanigans. I gotta be a little more mindful about exposing addresses. It's a thing, you know, but I'm sloppy. Espresso Mechanic TV says, all looking really cool with the whitewater, and American Indie is good fun despite its simplicity. Never saw that one in the UK. If you didn't see the video, you have no idea what I'm talking about. This device here, it's like a 1960s racing game that Kevin just finished restoring, and you got a steering wheel and you just got to try and time your turns. Oh, I'm gonna make everything blurry if I do that. And the better your turns are, the faster you go. And there's a nice restoration and pretty cool piece of Americana history. Okay, so Purdue says the American Indie game is based on Indy 500 race in Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, that would make sense, so that's pretty cool. Papa Sean says, are the whitewater targets supposed to say R-E-V-I-R, or is that supposed to say river? Well, firstly, you got a good eye. Secondly, I did not notice that. If it is, if it says R-E-V-I-R, then yeah, I think somebody might have been putting on the drop targets after a few bubblies. We got Alaskan Zen says, Revere is French Canadian for river. Yeah, so it works in Canada. We'll live with that. All right, let's move on to a few comments about Quicksilver, part 14, and then let's get to work. Okay, what do we got here? We got Norid says, hello, it's Norid from Burbank, California. I'm thinking of getting into pinball restoration for a hobby. Any advice before I look for my first pin? I would say the best advice is you got a billion resources on the internet, so don't be shy, don't worry about that. PinWiki, that is the best source for information. Pinball Repair Help Group on Facebook, those are my two go-to places for when I need any help. And just see if you can find a junker for, like, well, it depends on how much work you want to get into, right? You might want to start off with something that's not such a basket case, then you don't have to like, that might turn you off if you get too deep too quickly, like which almost happened to Dutch with his big Indian machine. That was his first restore, and it turned out to be a nightmare for him, and I'm surprised that he's still into pinball after that. So find yourself a cheap machine, $1,000 or under, and just dig right in and ask for help. There's lots of resources out there. So good luck. John Charest says, hey Mike, your Quicksilver game sounds just as close to my Galaxy sounds. Maybe the soundboard have the same sound settings, but a little different because of the different game types. I'm pretty sure they're very, very similar, if not identical soundboards. Don't quote me, because there's a couple generation of soundboards, and yeah, a lot of these Sterns have similar sounds, but your Galaxy was my old Galaxy. So Mr. AI says, interesting observation. Okay, we got Bjorn's chillin', Bjorn Shillings. Bjorn Shilling. I'll get it right one of these days. Quicksilver East almost lep it up. Hold power problems on old Ballysterns is often the coil stops. Is almost leapt up. I get it. Yeah, nice. Yeah, often the coil stops. Honey, is that you?
Yes, is my washer done?
Yeah, your laundry's ready.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay. They magnetize differently than originals. Maybe you have an okay old part to test. Have fun. Such a cool game. Well, I really hope it's not the coil stops because they're brand friggin' new. But you never know. I'm gonna have to look into that. It's just like when the ball hits my flipper, I get a little bit of like give sometimes. I talked to Shane Jackson about that today, and he says check the gapping on your end of stroke switch. Might be too close, but I don't think it's too close. I think it's plenty gapped, but that's some issue I will address eventually. Yeah, I paused, but why don't you read a comment?
Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna get her laundry. Okay, well, let's see. I'll read one too. Okay, here you go. Christmas Day here in Australia. Good job on the high voltage section. Hoping you'll stay your own sovereign nation and not become a state of the USA.
Tell him to stop listening to that Trump stuff.
Yeah, don't be listening to that Trump stuff. That's what Jamie says. Okay, got another one here from David Gamboa. He says, this bad boy deserves the repro playfield. Everything will be okay, I promise. Honey, yeah. When I went to the tree on Christmas morning, I didn't find a Quicksilver playfield under it.
I'll talk to Kevin.
What? He's not Santa Claus. You're Santa Claus. Kevin's not Santa Claus. Okay, we got Darren Anderson. He says, what a fantastic old pinball, getting a much needed makeover. Thank you very much. It's a LEPy kind of job, but you got to start somewhere. Do you know what LEP stands for?
LEP?
Yeah. Low end pinball.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's a guy, his name's Hep. He's high end pinball, so I've deemed myself LEP.
Nice, that's appropriate.
Yeah, I got to get shirts that say LEP it up. Okay, well then we got Espresso Mechanic TV. Says, just the fine tuning now. Other than that, it all looks and sounds really great. Okay, so there's the comments. Let's get to work. Okay, Houston, we have a problem while editing this video. I realized that I have player 4 display and 3 wiring harness swapped. It's supposed to go player 1, 2, 3, 4. So these two guys need to swap over. And guess what? There's not enough room for that. Everything went so smooth, so perfectly. Didn't even realize that until editing the video that these things were reversed. So I am going to have to fix that. And in order to do that, I'm pretty sure I have to extend all of these wires over to here. I think there's enough wiring left on this side that I can move this over here. Gonna have to probably reroute some of my wire clips. Hopefully I didn't cut these too short because I cut them perfectly and they're part of this equation. So I'm gonna have to spend, this is probably gonna take an hour. I'm literally gonna just extend each one. I'm going to pop these two, like all these are doubled up too, which makes it even more fun. I'll just like pop the red wires out of this housing. Then I'll go over here and I'll find me some length of red wire. I probably have all the colors I need. Make sure I got the right gauge. And then cut a length of about 1.5 feet or whatever I need. Then I'll throw a terminal on it. But I don't need double wire going from here all the way to here. I just need single wire. I can just, you know, snip this and twist the 3 wires together, these two and the extension, and then add 1 terminal onto the extension and then pop it into this housing, which I will reuse. That is my strategy. I'm not looking forward to it, but that is the very next step. That is, there's nothing else I want to do or can do or should do until that is done. I need to tear this Band-Aid off, so I'll see you in an hour or two. Okay, so managed to get the player 3 display from over here to here. The wire management just ain't as pretty as it used to be, but I had to find a happy distance between player 2 and player 3. They're fighting for a wire harness here, so I changed location or two of my wire clips here. So you can see an old hole there and an old hole there, but that's all situated. It's as happy as it's gonna get for what it is. Now it's a matter of bringing all these wires. I'll just kind of like make a new harness that'll go like that. So yeah, gonna need about 16 inches of wire. And how many wires do I actually need here? Let's see. These are all doubled up, so it looks like a lot more than it is, but really it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I think 15 different wires. Got a couple different gauges going on here too, so it's not as bad as it seems. Okay, it hasn't quite been an hour. That's because I haven't done anything yet, but it was about 15 minutes because I was just spending the time analyzing and harvesting this from my old Kings of Steel lamp panel. So this definitely has been handy to have. So check this out. I've got proper length of cable, but this has pretty much, it's going to be hard to see exactly, but pretty much the exact same wire colors. Start from the right. You can see like green and then white and then a blue, then a yellow, then a white, and then I think a brown. But other than a couple variations, not only do I have all the correct length and gauge of wire, I have mostly the correct colors, so it'll just help make this process go a little bit smoother. So like I said, I'm just gonna connect the stuff here and then move the housing. I'm not going to use this. This is IDC style, and I don't like that, so I'm going to stick with the Molex style connector. So that's some bonus to have that available to me. All right, I'm starting to get this down to a science here. So here's my strategy. Pull out the wire. So that will look like this. Snip off the terminal and then tie in a third wire of the same color. Put on some shrink tube. And now I have all this extra wire. And in theory, I could just throw on a terminal onto this end and pop that in there. And then eventually I'll be able to just move the thing over. But I'm not exactly sure how much wire I'm going to need. I definitely have too much right now, but that's better than too little. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and continue to do this for the rest of the wires. And then I can size out just exactly how much wire I need. Then I can snip them all at the same length and then just reattach them to the connector. And that's going to be the trickiest part because, like I said, not all colors match up perfectly, but with my photo reference and this as reference, I shouldn't screw it up too badly. All right, I'll bring you along for one wire here. I've done 4 now. So I'll time-lapse a little action for you. Here we go. There, see, that wasn't so bad. A little bit tedious, but it's pretty easy, especially sitting at the bench. It's nice. And, you know, like another 10 to go, and I'll be done. Okay, that phase is complete. My housing is free. I tried to label it. If I can read my own writing, that would be a small miracle. But check this out. There's where the old wiring ended. And I think I did a half decent enough job with my shrink tubing and connections there. So I'll just zip tie this snugly together and then kind of just lay it as nicely as I can. I'll find a nice path, and I've got some extra cable ties from my old Kings of Steel lamp panel. Whip that around somewhere like this maybe, and then like so. So this is the old connector here. I'll use this. For some reason there was one extra wire, but it was going the other way, this black wire here, and I ended up using that black wire, and then it kind of started throwing off my color scheme, so that's why there's an extra blue. But I should have skipped that black one. But I got back on track, so not all of my old colors match the new colors perfectly, but 80% of them are bang on. As long as I just wire it right, that's all that matters. That's why I took a million photos, I labeled my housing, and that shouldn't be a problem. So I think that should work. Okay, it's actually been like a few days since that last clip. Been just doing stuff and things, including this. That's right, your new GC for Metallica launch party at Mana Pinball. But anyway, let's get back to business. Let's get my harness here all connected and tidied up, strapped in, cut to length, and yeah, let's get that finished. And then I'll work on adding the 7th digit wiring. All right, it's done. What have we learned? We've learned that a Meteor harness for the head almost works for a Quicksilver. 3 out of 4 displays. Well, I should say 4 out of 5 displays will connect up ever so nicely, but the last one requires a little bit of extra shenanigans. So there's all of my connections here, my extensions. I've got all of my wire clamps in place. Got some zip ties. Yeah, I don't have any white small zip ties. I just have green and yellow and blue. But I've got it all nicely tidied up here, plugged in. And you can't see all my writing that I put on the connector. It's on the other side. So it's not quite as pretty as it was, but it's all tidy and it should work, and that's all that really matters. So now I have to figure out how to wire up the 7th digit. So I think, I can't remember the name, but I made a post on Pinball Repair Help Group. And someone sent me a video explaining what they had done, and it looked like it was working for them. This was for LED displays, though. I don't know if it works for the original plasma displays, but it sounded like there was a spot. They were using a Weebly board, too. And I think somewhere it said that there is printed right on the board potentially a spot for a 7th digit, but I am not exactly seeing that. Ground, 5 volts, solenoid lamp, solenoids, no, display, here we go, D. It's hard to get in there. Maybe if there's a lamp, D7 somewhere. Oh, wait. Digit 7. I think that might be my pin right there. So I think I run a wire from there. Then it goes to player 1, and I think it's like pin 11 or 9 or something like that. And then I think I just run it from there over to here, and then probably to player 3 and player 4. I think that's it. So I wonder if it's easiest to install the head and then I can like just test the first display by itself before I start, adding in all the other displays, just to test the theory with the first display. And in order to really do that, it might be easiest just to install the head. So I'm going to do a little research, and I will let you know what the heck I figure out, if anything. Oh, and I just remembered it was Colk's Pinball who gave me these tips and that information and sent me a video, which was, very helpful. So thanks, Colk. Appreciate it. All right, I stuck the lamp panel in the machine once again, and I got everything connected. I think I do anyways. Well, first test. Let's see if the door still closes properly. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alignment is good. I got to transfer over that that one piece. The latch. Oh, there's my friggin' side cutters. I've been looking for you for a while. I got to transfer over. What is this piece for? I could transfer over the latch. Oh, and eventually these guys here, which I think looks like I got a couple broken ones. So I wonder if my Kings of Steel will come in handy yet again. There's some white ones. And yeah, those would probably be fine. I could replace all 4, but I got 3 of the same size, and this one looks like a little smaller, so maybe I'll replace. Yeah, whatever. That should work. Now what we're going to do, I have player 4 display disconnected right now, just to be safe. And actually, that is the 7-digit one. So I don't even know if that display works. I just found that in my stash. I'm going to have to put on some new tape there. Well, actually, I won't be using the 6-digit display, but that helps from scratching the back of the back glass there. So that's muy importante with my new BG Resto back glass, which, you know, kind of getting to that point where I'm going to be installing that thing. We're getting close. Anyway, so I think everything's on. Let's power this on, see if things still work. See some display glow. I didn't see the display glow on this. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's a good start. Boot it up. Nothing blew up. So hit the start button, see if audio is still good. All right. What happens if I add in extra players now? Okay. Can I score on player 2? Ah, so that's hooked up, right? Player 3 is flashing. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna plug in player 4 now and see if that works. Okay, it doesn't work, but I do have the display glow. So maybe I'll pop in a 6-digit display and just at least see if it shows me some digits. Okay, so I popped in a 6-digit display. I couldn't actually find the one that I originally pulled out of there. And I got some weirdness going on. So I have this one labeled as wonky. That's funny. I wasn't wearing my glasses and I thought it said working. It says wonky, so that's probably what the issue is. So let me try a different one. All right, here's another untested one. Oh, that doesn't look too promising. Okay. Well, I got digits at least. So that display has clearly got an issue. Probably the decoder chip, or maybe my wiring's wrong. It's very possible. Let me put in a friggin' known working display, and then that will make my life a lot easier. Okay, this time I stole a display from Magic. Hey, there we go. There's a little bit of ghosting going on here. See that? That probably just means you need to reflow the headers on that. Oh, it shows up kind of a little sketchy through the camera. Looks like it's pulsing, but in reality, it's just staying on. And everything actually looks pretty good. So I think I can proceed now with the wiring. But first, I think I need lunch. Okay, one more quick test before I go. Oh, I'm getting a free 1,000 points because that stupid drop target decided to start not working again. But let's just see. Player 4 advances. And looks like it is scoring properly. So that is a success. Okay, I'm back from lunch, and what I've decided is that I think I'm going to save the wiring up the 7th digit for a separate video. And then that way, if anyone in the future needs that information, it'll be kind of an almost standalone video and a little easier to find. I know if it was me, that would be nice to have a video for this out there that was easily accessible. There wasn't when I was looking, so rather than add it to the end of this, whoever knows how long this video is, and a lot of potential fast forwarding to get to the point, I'm just going to do it at the beginning of the next video. Or, well, who knows, it might take me a friggin' hour So it might be the entirety of the video, but I think that's what I'm going to do. But what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is I am going to transfer over the last bits of hardware and whatever, what do you call these things again? Bezels, I guess. Transfer over those. I don't have a staple gun that's probably strong enough to go through these, so I'm going to probably just have to pry out these staples, drill some little holes in the rubber or plastic, and then just add like a screw on each side. So it'll be a little bit leppy in that regard, but I mean, look at the factory lep here. I mean, the staples, maybe this is a better example. That's a factory lep. Those staples barely are in there, so I think my lep job will be better than the factory, potentially. All right, I got my parts harvested and these things cleaned up. I guess you can 3D print these. The files are available. And even, what was his name again? Hokey Pokey. He did what I was suggesting I was going to do with the originals, but his are 3D printed. See that? Just screws on either side. Mine aren't super long like that for the doubles, so that area won't be quite as illuminated, but as long as it covers up the words, so I should double check on that, because if it says like, you know, high score to date and it's like cut off, that wouldn't actually be that cool. So I'm gonna have to look at that before I install these guys. Yeah, check this out. If I put on a shorty there, it's definitely going to cut off the words, so I'm going to have to like double up. Alright, this is going pretty smoothly. I've got 3 of these guys installed. Just drilled holes and threw in the screws. And now for my doubles, I'm going to take, I had like just the right amount of bezels here to make this all happen, but I'm just gonna like cut here, you know what I mean, burn. Pretty simple process here. Destroy 2 to make 1 good one. Well, it's a little more brittle. Actually, it's still pretty rubbery, all things considered. These have been under some incandescent heat for many years, but then I'll just do that. And voila, we got a longie. All right, there it is. Got all my baffles. That's what they're called, not bezels. I think either work, but I think they're called baffles. And I will probably forget the name within about 60 seconds. But there's my double. There's my other double. Got them pretty spaced out, centered, so I think they should work. If for whatever reason any lettering's cut off, I can always just move them over, put in new holes if I have to. And then I got my latch installed. And if someone wants to tell me what the hell this thing is for, then I will know whether or not I need to even bother installing that. Because for now, I don't think I'm going to, because I don't really see the purpose. But I think now is probably a good time to throw in some LEDs in the back box and then test out my controlled lamps and general illumination. Okay, I just swapped the credit display with player 3 display. It seemed to get rid of that glitchy digit. I thought if the issue was going to follow the display, then I would reflow it, but it's not presenting itself right now. But here's the big test to see if my general illumination is actually wired properly. So, and as you can see, like I ran through a game earlier and just drained out all the balls, and you can see that there's 4 actual legit scores now on the display, so that seems to all be functioning properly. The weird zeros is probably just a product of not having 7-digit displays in, I'm guessing. But let's see if this works. I'll do 1 and hope for the best. That's really friggin' bright on my eyeballs, but it's not locking in very good. What is the problem here? That's better. For whatever reason, it's just not like clicking into place and snapping in very well. So I feel like I'm going to be fighting these for a while. All right, well, I was going to like time lapse this whole process, but you know what? I think I'll just come back because I feel like I'm going to have to fight with these for a while. Okay, I'm getting there, but it's definitely not without a fight. There's a few different reasons. Some of my solder joints on the back of these sockets are just not good. And I think just the act of stapling these kind of like bends them a little bit. So you really have to force the bulb in for it to lock. And the bulb doesn't like that. It like wants to pop right back out. Like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if while playing this game, bulbs just decide to like pop out. Like this one is one of the suspects, I believe. It just, you got to push too hard to get it to lock, and it's not even really, see what I mean? Did you see that? So I don't know if it's just a crappy socket or like it's this weird one, or if it's just a little bit bent out of shape. If I push it in a little better, maybe that'll help. And yeah, so I am fighting with a lot of these. Where's this one here? This one, just not working whatsoever. So I'm having a look. Oh, I see my issue. I didn't even realize this when I first was looking at this. There's no solder. So let's jumper that together. And we have light. So yeah. So there's compression on the sockets. There's bad soldering. And whatever else. I'm fighting, but you know, I'm slowly winning the battle. Okay, I had to fight, and I don't think the battle is quite over. I'm pretty sure some of these bulbs are just going to want to jump out of their sockets during gameplay, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So I did all general illumination. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, there was actually one socket that the spring was just bent, and when I forced the bulb in, it would short and cause all the lights to turn off on that section. So that was fun. Got that one sorted out. I saved the best for last on that one. But let's check some controlled lighting out together. Pretty sure this is high score to date, right? So this should light. Oh, so that's what these digits are, the 000s. That's the high score to date. It's obviously not showing properly, but let's put it in when it says 27,000. And now, see if it turns on. Hey, that's good news. All right, sweet. Let's see if I can get this other bulb in here. Oh, see that? It's not very centered. So I'm gonna have to fight with that to get that one in there. This is tilt. We could try that. Oh, that one also. No, it just doesn't wanna cooperate. So you see what I mean? What else do we got? Shoot again, and what's the other one? You know, it doesn't really matter because, hey, the game over. So that works. Yeah, so shoot again, tilt, high score to date. Okay, well, I think things are looking good. So I'm gonna fight with the rest of these bulbs and then we'll give it a test. All right, for the final test here. This is actually game over, so that's on, should be. This is match, which should be, I don't know if that should be on. And then obviously high score to date, shoot again. So let's just throw it in lamp test and see if all the controlled lamps go on and off like they should. Wait, hold on. That's everything test. One more click of the button. Here we go. Look at that. It works. Okay, wow. Shit, this video is probably getting pretty long, but I should go 7-digit display hunting. Actually, we're not going to go 7-digit display hunting just yet because I got to do the wiring first. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Okay, well, I think that's pretty productive for this episode. Probably getting pretty long, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. Keep those comments rolling in. I'll keep reading them. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.